We talk about football. A teenager from Worcester has been sentenced to 6 weeks in prison for racially abusing the footballer Marcus Rashford online after he missed a penalty against Italy in the Euro 2021 Championship. 19-year-old Justin Lee Price from Grandison Gardens changed his Twitter username after posting the offensive message to avoid detection. He had pleaded guilty at a previous hearing before the sentencing today at Kidderminster Magistrates Court. Dr. Laura Higson-Bliss is a lecturer in law at Keele University. Hi, Laura.
Oh, hi, yeah, thank you for having me.
I'm pleased of your expertise, so thank you for your time. Tell us how significant this case, and indeed this sentencing, this ruling, has been today.
It is quite a significant ruling and sentence that the young person has been given. Myself, when I heard how long he was given, which is 6-week custodial sentence, I thought that was quite excessive, actually, to be honest, when looking at similar offences and other people who have been prosecuted for similar offences, particularly with the Euros last year. It does seem quite a significant sentence that we're doing, and the CPS have very much said that it is about creating deterrence and showing that those that make racist comments online will feel the full force of the law. So
you say you felt excessive compared to other cases. Is there a kind of a how-to, a go-to guide as to, depending on the severity of your words, what that may result in?
There was obviously sentencing guidelines that will be taken into consideration, but one of the sort of problems with this area of the law is the lack of consistency between different police forces, between different CPS offices. That's something that's been talked about for a number of years now. So there was someone else considerably a lot older than this particular person who sent very similar messages that got 14-week custodial sentence, but it was actually suspended. So it's difficult to sort of see why such an excessive sentence was given in this case when in comparison to the other matters.
Will it really, do you think, send a message to those clowns who continue to use this kind of appalling language?
No. Deterrence doesn't work in general. There's a lot of evidence to support that now, that deterrence isn't necessarily always the answer. The law is obviously important and we do need criminal provisions there. But I think the issue goes back to education, and this particular person, as part of their defence, they tried to argue, well, I didn't necessarily realise the extent of the language that I used, and I hear that language every day on rap records, for example. And I think it does really go back to education and letting people know that actually what they say online can have quite serious repercussions.
I don't want to try and create a system where people can be abusive but avoid punishment. However, the is key to this and this sentencing, do you think, one word in particular, which is not going to get used here, one particular word that he used, one of I think the worst and most offensive words that is available for use. Is it the actual wording that has seen this sentencing? And I guess my question is, if he was less offensive, do you think that would have avoided a jail term?
Perhaps. So by law, we're allowed to be offensive. That is actually part of our right to freedom of expression. But what we can't be is grossly offensive. And obviously using that language in this context is arguably grossly offensive. But we've seen during that period of time that word was being used a lot across social media, and there's no justification for that. But there will be other people that have made comments probably a lot worse than this individual has and haven't necessarily felt the full force of the law.
Thank you for your time tonight. Really interesting to talk. Dr. Laura Higson-Bliss, who is a lecturer in law at Keele University and an expert in social media law too. With the news we see today, a teenager from Worcester